So lads, this is not something you want to see. This is not something that anyone wants to see, and I don't think this is something that Lakers fans wish to see. Goran Dragic appears to have suffered a plantar tear of his left foot. Well, not he appears to have, he has. He's done for the series, lads. He's going into free agent year, he's done for the series. And it's going to be grim. It's going to be grim. Goran Dragic is a massive part of the Miami Heat team. He's their most consistent playmaker. He's their most consistent slasher at the basket. He's their top scorer. As much as people like to forget about everything that Goran Dragic has done, the guy's an all-star. He may not have been an all-star in 2020. He may not have been an all-star in 2019. When the guy is at his best, he is an all-star. And he has been at his best since coming back from the bubble. He was bad last year. He wasn't great before the bubble, but he has been at his best. So this is a massive, massive loss. Especially for a team like Miami, who relies heavily on Goran Dragic. They rely a lot more than you expect on this guy, on him on the offensive end. But all I'm going to say is prayers up for Gordon Hayward. Hopefully, it's not going to affect him too much going into free agency. And hopefully, when he inevitably goes to the Dallas Mavericks, he can team up with Luka and be as successful with them as he was on the international stage with Luka Doncic. So, yeah, I'm a Heat fan. I'm a massive, massive Goran Dragic fan. I've been a fan of him since he was in Phoenix. Man, this is tough. This is tough. This is not what anyone wants to see. You don't want to see a team like the Miami Heat weakened. But at the end of the day, it's an injury. Injuries happen. What do the Heat really have to kind of make up for what Gordon Hayward brings on the offensive end? Because Gordon Hayward is not a good defender. I'm just going to say that right now. But do the Heat have a lot to make up for Goran Dragic? Goran Dragic did not start in the regular season. And the reason was this guy right here. The one positive from what happened today was that Kendrick Nunn finally, it took a while, finally, he seemed to figure out why he was second in Rookie of the Year voting. Kendrick Nunn had a fantastic game one. And can Kendrick Nunn give you what Goran Dragic gives you? In terms of pure scoring, while giving you a little more on the defensive end, maybe. He can't give you what Goran Dragic gives you in terms of manipulating the defense, in terms of being that extra bit of a threat. But he can give some, like the fact that Kendrick Nunn hadn't even been on the floor. If you start Kendrick Nunn where Goran Dragic is, he is going to give you a little bit of what Dragic, he can give you maybe 80% of what Dragic gave you in terms of pure scoring. And who knows, Kendrick Nunn is another big game like this. It might be good enough to take a game or two, but I think if this series was to be won by Miami, it would be the likes of a Dragic that would really pull them through in tight games. While he's not necessarily their closer, you could argue Tyler Hero is. Dragic is a guy who does tend to step up in big games. He was playing pretty well before he got hurt, especially early on in the game. Yeah, he wasn't great in the run. Nobody was great. The Lakers, oh my God, went on a massive, massive run, and nobody was great. So I'm not going to hold that against Dragic, but he was good to start the game. But at the end of the day, it's going to be on two rookies, which is crazy. If the Heat can pull this off, this will be the biggest miracle in history. This series is on two rookies. You know it's bad when you're saying if these rookies don't play well, it could be a sweep. But Dragic is that important. A big game from Dragic, which was going to happen, gets the Miami Heat a game. He's an all-star. Or a bubble. He's a fringe all-star. He is a fringe all-star level player. He may not show it in the stats, especially last year, but he is. At his best, he's an all-star, and he's playing close to his best right now. But one good thing is that Tyler Hero can bring a lot of what Goran Dragic brings in terms of getting to the basket. However, the two-headed monster with the two of them on the floor at the same time, in terms of just having two guys that are threats going to the basket and pulling up from three, that's no longer the same. But at the end of the day, if Tyler Hero goes and pulls was it game 4 against the Celtics where he had 37? If Tyler Hero was 2 of those games in this series, the Heat may win a game or 2. So I'm not that optimistic. I'm a lot less optimistic in the Heat even bring it to 6 right now. But man, Hero's got to step up. He's got to step up. At the end of the day, though, if Hero and Kendrick Nunn, if those guys step up and even get the Miami Heat a game, if they're competitive in 3 of the games and they pull out one of them, being led by rookies, man, that's going to put them in great position next year. I'm confident in this Heat team for the next couple of years. They're young, they're hungry, got a great culture. This year does not seem to be it. And then there's the Bam Adebayo injury. So it turns out that Bam Adebayo is actually cleared. He's actually cleared, but he appeared to be in almost more pain than Goran Dragic. It's a shoulder injury, even though he had been holding his wrist. A lot of time you hold your wrist if you do have a shoulder injury. As someone who has injured my shoulder a few times, you do kind of tend to hold your wrist just to keep your shoulder in place. It seems like it could have stemmed from that. Honestly, it could have stemmed from that block shot. A lot of people are saying, a lot of doctors are saying that it stemmed from that block shot against the Boston Celtics. The game one of the greatest plays of the best play of the bubble, probably. But yeah, thankfully that was all clear, because without Bam Adebayo, this series is a sweep. There's no question about it. Without Goran Dragic, you're looking and you're like, you know what, Kendrick Nunn, Hyder, they might be able to make up for it. Without Bam, the Heat are screwed. If Bam Adebayo is not 100%, this is going to be a sweep. And I'm just saying one thing. The Heat have been playing Solomon Hill at center. Can they just play this guy? He can play. He's athletic. He can shoot the 3. He showed with Portland last year that he can play in the playoffs. Yeah, he's not going to go and clamp Anthony Davis up or anything, but he can play. Myers Leonard can play. He's better. Maybe he's not better than Kelly Olynyk. He's better. Actually, screw it. He's better than Kelly Olynyk. He's better than Kelly Olynyk, and he's a lot better than playing Solomon Hill at center. Please stop playing Solomon Hill, Spoelstra. Please stop playing Solomon Hill. And then another thing that's a bit of a worry is Jimmy looked in a lot of pain as well. Jimmy will not give up. Jimmy will not sit out. The problem is, will Jimmy be 100%? But if Jimmy's not 100%, again, it's going to be tough on the Miami Heat. Yeah, it's going to be rough. It is going to be rough for the Miami Heat, because unlike Dragic, who you're at least looking and thinking maybe they have some replacements in Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, the Miami Heat, Jay Crowder was great today. Don't get me wrong, Jay Crowder was great. He is your next kind of Jimmy Butler type option. And man, why? Like, Solomon Hill. Why is Solomon Hill playing? Like, you paid Myers Leonard. Why is Solomon Hill playing? I don't understand it. Eric Spoelstra knows way more about basketball than I do, so I am not gonna. He obviously has his reasons. I just can't think of them. I just can't think of any reason why Solomon Hill is playing and Myers Leonard is sitting on the bench. Not only that, I have no idea why Solomon Hill is playing center and Myers Leonard is sitting on the bench. But yeah, not looking good for my Heat. But at the end of the day, I think if the Heat can take 2 games off this Lakers team, it will be massive. Because, man, Miami could win it next year. Miami, if Tyler Hero makes a massive step up between his rookie and his sophomore year, if Kendrick Nunn ends up finding his form again, they've got cap room for 2021 free agency. If they can convince like a Giannis or something to join to play alongside Bam, if Bam develops a bit of a jump shot, man, the future is bright for the Miami Heat. I initially thought the Lakers were going to win. I said it. I gave the Heat a chance because of the way they play. And I do give the Heat a game because Duncan Robinson's never going to be that bad again. I don't think Tyler Hero is going to be that bad again, but he's going to have one exceptional game for every bad game he has. Bam's going to play more than a half. And you just don't know. Iguodala, sure, he's going to play better than that. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That is the news. Goran Dragic likely out for, well, almost certainly out for the series. Prayers up to Dragic. Hopefully it's a case of him being back ready to play whenever next season starts. And hopefully he ends up signing a big contract in free agency because it's the least he has deserved. 5 great years for the Miami Heat. Finally got his first All-Star in 2018. And again, was signed for the Miami Heat initially to play with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and try to compete for a championship, try to compete to win the Eastern Conference, even above LeBron's Cleveland team. The day after he signs, Chris Bosh gets sidelined for the season with blood clots. The next year, Chris Bosh, again blood clots, but does help the Miami Heat get to one game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. Then a couple of bad years, and then it's great. NBA Finals, plays the first game and gets hurt. It's a pity. Goran Dragic, while yeah, he's probably not going to have his number retired in Miami or anything, but he's probably the second best point guard in history, unless you want to count Dwayne Wade or LeBron James as a point guard. He's probably the second best point guard in the history of this franchise, behind Tim Hardaway. So yeah, as a Miami Heat fan, considering that's likely the end for Goran Dragic, thank you for the 5 years. It's a pity you couldn't end it on a ring. It's a pity. Well, you just never know. It's a pity. It's unlikely it'll be ended on a ring, and even if they do get a ring, that he'll be out injured for it. But thank you for the 5 years, Goran. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.